Welcome back to Wave Listens Live. We are glad to again bring on Doug Kane, the neuropathy doctor from Cornerstone Wellness Center. Normally, you know, we come on, we talk all about neuropathy. We're going to do things a little bit differently. You've brought a guest here. Why don't you introduce us to Susan?
This is my friend Susan Flotron, an aspiring author, and that's one of the things that we want to talk about with her today. When we're dealing with neuropathy and how it just wrecks people's life, one of our big jobs is we want to find out what their why is, because when we find out what their why is, that becomes our goal, and that's the whole focus of our treatment. That's the goal line that we're focused on getting to, so they can get their quality of life back.
Yeah, Susan, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story, how that ended up crossing paths with Dr. Kane, and how it got you sitting in this chair with us today?
I first started feeling pain in my foot around October. I had already bought a ticket to fly to Pennsylvania to be with my family for Thanksgiving and was considering even canceling the trip. And my sister said, no, you're going to come. And so they helped me out. When I got back from Pennsylvania after Thanksgiving, my pain got worse, which then began my health journey of trying to find what is actually wrong. And each step that I took, nothing helped. I went to orthopedics inserts in my foot. It did not work. To going to a foot doctor. I tried cortisone shots that did not work, medicine that did not work, until I came across Dr. Kane and thought, okay, I've tried everything, I'll give him a shot.
And it sounds like you're pretty glad you did.
I'm excited that I did, ecstatic. I was a little skeptical at first because I had never been to a chiropractor before in my life, and things that I heard about chiropractors were like, ooh, not too good. But he assured me, hey, things have changed, and he was absolutely correct. So I am so glad.
And for someone like you who is an author who likes to sit down and write, when you have something like that kind of pain in your feet, it makes it difficult to even think straight. So I mean, how are you supposed to sit down and do what you love without being able to do it with pain? It just seems like that probably added a lot of stress and made it difficult to do what you wanted to do.
It was a lot of stress. Depression set in. My quality of life just went downhill from there. I could not do my own grocery shopping. I had to do online grocery shopping. Laundry, I couldn't do. Just the normal things that people do, I could not do. And so it was very depressing. I also do book signings, and I had to cancel some book signings because I just could not do it.
Yeah, so then it's not just affecting you, it's affecting other people too. Dr. Kane, when you hear stories like this, does it make what you do feel even more important?
Absolutely. And you know, I think the word's grateful. I fell into this by accident. I've told that story here, how my mother was diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy, and prior to that point in time, I had been taught that there's nothing that can be done. You just have to learn to live with it. That's exactly what I told my mom. But then, you know, found out, hey, there's this protocol that's been around for a while, and we investigated that. We got into that. We invested in it. We learned it, and we brought it back to our community. And so we've been able to see these kind of results that we have with Susan. You know, she's like a lot of people. This came on very quickly. You know, September, October of last year, she was fine. By mid to late November, Thanksgiving, as she mentioned, great deal of difficulty walking. When we met 3 months ago, she was dependent on a rollator. And when we did our evaluation, she had lost 50% of her sensory input. So her brain literally didn't know what her feet were doing. And now, after just 90 days of treatment, she's down to 4% sensory loss. She passed her balance test, and she can walk unassisted. Now, long distances, like getting in here to the studio, it's still nice to have that rollator there for safety reasons, but to be able to walk in her own house, or she demonstrated the other day in the office, just to be able to walk several steps completely unassisted. And then, like you said, that depression, now there's light at the end of the tunnel. She can get out and do the things that she wants to do. She can tell her story as far as her book is concerned. And, you know, she's got a signing coming up this weekend, this coming Saturday. So local authors can get out, and you can see there in Charlestown at Charlestown Coffee and Cream between 10 and 1. You can actually meet Susan, and you can read her book and get a copy signed by the author and just read her wonderful life story.
Yeah, Susan, why don't you tell us about the book? We've got us sitting here with you and Dave. Tell us about the book and the signing.
Well, my late husband and I co-authored this book, and it was published in 2020. He passed away in 2021 and through acute heart attack and sepsis. And he was able to do a few book signings with me, but the book is about our love story, our faith in God, what God has done for us, and lessons that we have learned through life. And it's also about endurance and hope. Gives hope to people who have gone through death of a spouse or death of their parents or a sibling or a son or a daughter. It's also help for singles who want to get married and they tried online dating. So both Dave and I met online. So we have different stories in there about that and just life lessons that we learned through that.
And how, I guess, how much does it move you as an author to see people come out and see the work you've done and maybe tell you about how they've been touched by it? It
is amazing seeing what other people who read the back of the book and start reading. It's even helped widows. Now that I'm a widow, I just had a widow pick up the book and she started reading it and she says, wow, this is amazing. It has helped me so much. So just hearing those stories of different people and hearing their stories about their life, because we all have a story to tell. And you might think that it won't help anybody.
And we do appreciate you sharing your story with you and your late husband, Dave. And if you want to read more about it, you can find it in the book or visit her at Coffee and Cream for that event. That's all for Listens Live today. We've got more for you tomorrow. We'll see you then.